Welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Pete Quinnell. Last night's Raw saw a fiery segment between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, where Rollins called out Punk for saying WWE is his home and reinforced that WWE is not his home, it's his, which would make it even funnier if Seth leaves WWE in 2024. Fightful Select is reporting that Seth Rollins' WWE contract is due to expire in June 2024, about 6 months away. And interestingly, there reportedly haven't been discussions yet about a contract extension. Now, granted, Rollins is obviously well-liked backstage, and due to his position on the card, it would be unlikely that they wouldn't be able to agree to terms. A WWE source confirmed as such with Fightful, mentioning that Rollins will be made a priority when it comes to making an offer for a contract extension. As a little extra nugget of information to this story is that Seth's wife, Becky Lynch, also has her contract expiring at the same time in June 2024. Could the power couple be leaving WWE come next June? No, probably not. Having said that, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Jade Cargill are in WWE right now, and Edge became Adam Copeland when he jumped over to AEW, so anything's possible. Imagine, though. On the subject of CM Punk, Mike Johnson of PW Insider Elite shared that as of right now, everything is positive backstage when it comes to CM Punk, with even people who dislike him noting that he's been pleasant and relaxed. Maybe Punk really has changed. Or it could be something to do with that reported behavior clause he's got. Who knows? Someone else who's often part of the should he go to AEW discussion whenever his contract is in the news is Ricochet. Oh god, Ospreay's in AEW now. Oh, he should totally do it. Anyway, it seems that Ricochet might be a little frustrated with certain booking choices surrounding him as of late. The former Intercontinental Champ responded to a Twitter thread asking if people thought Ricochet would ever be a world champ, where one user commented that they thought that he needed a lot of work on the mic. Ricochet responded by saying, "I think you mean opportunity on the mic," indicating, of course, that he feels he doesn't get enough time to show what he can do on the stick. What do you think? Should Ricochet be given a bit more of a platform to do his promo work, or was the Logan Paul feud quite enough Ricochet for your taste? Let me know in the comments. Elsewhere, there's been an update on Charlotte Flair following her nasty spill she took on SmackDown last week in her match against Asuka. The match itself was quickly wrapped up following this incident, and now it seems as if that injury is both legitimate and serious. PW Insider is reporting that Flair has returned to her home in Florida and has been taken off the road until further notice. The nature of her injury is still unclear, but WWE is reportedly moving quickly to determine what's happened and how much time she'll be missing, which as of right now is still up in the air. WrestleTalk would like to wish Charlotte a speedy recovery with whatever the injury turns out to be. And now a word from this video's sponsor, us. We sponsored ourselves.
Hello! Do you like Survival Series? Would you like more Survival Series? Well, how about Survival Series Thunderdome Edition? Exclusive to patreon.com/WrestleTalk, Luke Owen challenges friends and family from the Parts Fun Known universe to test their knowledge on specific wrestling categories with the same rules and style of Survival Series.
This is Thunderdome. We do the thumbs up if you like something, thumbs down if you don't like something. You know, maybe there'll be a shot of something inappropriate here.
Steven Larson from Going In Raw, Kate from Fightful, Alex, Queen of the Ring, and SP3 of True Heel Heat go head-to-head in direct Survival Series competition to name every single WWE and AEW pay-per-view main event of 2023. And it goes about as well as you would imagine.
Why would you do this to me? I thought we were friends.
Yo!
Wow.
I mean, notoriously terrible at anything trivia related.
Am I allowed to write stuff down if I feel like that'll help me?
You can watch the first episode of Survival Series Thunderdome Edition right now over at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. I'm sure they'll do better than these clowns.
Oh my God.
Please do go to patreon.com/WrestleTalk to check out that Survival Series episode because it is a lot of fun. But for now, it's time for my review of Monday Night Raw, aka Punk's Big Decision Day episode of Monday Night Raw. In about 5 minutes. The show opened with Jey Uso doing his usual shtick now that he can say yeet again, and Drew McIntyre came out to give a big fake apology to Sami Zayn, who he wrote off TV last week. Drew made a good point about how Jey actually hasn't apologized for costing him the title back at Clash of the Castle, and then beat him in a very good match after he wrecked the eyes and hit the Claymore. There was also a great near fall when Jey kicked out of the Future Shock DDT, which plays off the finish in their last match just before Survivor Series. This took up around about the first half hour of the show and did a great job in getting Drew McIntyre over as a remorseless killer, a vengeful man. He was awesome, and it was announced later on he's going to be getting a title shot on the Day 1 edition of Monday Night Raw. Drew was put over strong. Jay, on the other hand, now look, there's no denying that he's over. Jay is over. Yeet is over. He's over. But here's a fun fact for you. Jey Uso hasn't won a singles match since August 4th when he beat Solo Sikoa on SmackDown. I think he might need to get some wins before this main event name feels like it's a bit of a rib. The Judgment Day hung out in their Judgment Den and all stood in a row while they argued about who the real leader of the group was. And then we cut across to the Creed Brothers and Alpha Academy standing in a row to put over that Ivy Nile will be in Maxine's corner for her match with Rhea Ripley. And R-Truth showed up so he could also stand in a row. This led to Maxine Dupree versus Rhea Ripley, which was short and also quite bad. Maxine, 2 singles matches in, is not ready for this sort of spot, and it exposed her lack of in-ring work. This wasn't a good wrestler pretending to be a bad wrestler. This was an untrained wrestler not being able to get up for moves. I've seen some claim that she was sandbagging, but that would imply intent, and I don't think that's the case here. I just think she had a bad night. Rhea won by struggling to get her up for the Riptide and locked in the Prism Trap for a tap-out win. Really, it was all a backdrop to tell you that the next contender for the Women's World Championship is Ivy Nile. We got a video promo for the Party Girls who love to party. And CM Punk made his decision to sign with Monday Night Raw rather than join SmackDown or NXT. He apologized for walking out on WWE 10 years ago, which amazingly and quite poetically was in the same building they were in for this edition of Monday Night Raw, and he wants to put all of his ghosts behind him. And this brought out Seth Rollins. Rollins pointed out what a lot of us are thinking. This isn't your home, Punk. You've spent the last 10 years talking about how this company nearly killed you, fired you on your wedding day, and have been sucking blood-covered dicks in Saudi Arabia. You've buried just about anyone who stayed in WWE. Seth, on the other hand, has stuck around through all of the bad times WWE has had. This company was the drizzling turds between 2014 and 2022, and Seth was there for all of it, working hard. Seth looked at Punk and told him, "Don't you dare call this your home. This is not your home, this is my home." He said he is going to protect WWE from CM Punk. Let's just hope he cleared that line with him ahead of time. Punk retorted by saying he was going to enter the Royal Rumble and was going to face Rollins for that world title. I really think this is the best Punk has been since coming back to WWE. He still feels completely disingenuous, and I think that is intentional, but more interestingly for me, this is the best that Rollins has felt since he won the title, maybe even before that. It's certainly the first time that the world title has felt worth a damn, but even then I think the interest is in Punk versus Rollins, not Punk versus Rollins for a belt. But that's the magic of Punk. The key for me and what makes this so interesting is that I don't believe anything that Punk is saying, but I do believe what Seth is saying, and I really do think that that is the point. This was fantastic TV, captivating, brilliant stuff. Bronson Reed beat Ivar in a match that was more ad-breaking than it was wrestling bouts, and he won with a superplex, which I quite enjoyed. The Judgment Day came out for a fun comedy segment with R-Truth where they just battered him. The Creeds ran out for the save, but the numbers overwhelmed them. Until they didn't, and the Creed stood tall. This was very effective booking. The Party Girls quickly beat The Way, and Becky Lynch had a decent promo segment with Nia Jax to set up a match between them down the line. It is amazing that they never did a match between those two after the face break spot. Becky was fantastic in this promo. DIY teamed with The Miz to beat Imperium when Miz pinned Giovanni Vinci. It was a very fun finish as Miz had Gunther in the figure 4 and Kaiser failed to make the save as he got caught in the Gargano escape. So Gunther had to rely on Vinci to make the save, who did save him, but then got pinned. It's a good finish that plays into the overall story. The problem is that story is breaking up Imperium, and stop trying to break up Imperium! Miz is going to get another shot at Gunther, and if he loses this time, he cannot challenge for the belt while Gunther is champ. And the main event saw Shinsuke Nakamura in his Black Rain cosplay and Cody Rhodes end in a lame DQ when Nakamura misted him. Nakamura laid Cody out with a Kinshasa, and the Creed of all people came out to make the save. This was quite the lame finish to a show that overall was pretty good. The wrestling was broadly fine, but the promo work was excellent. This week's show is 3 out of 5. Remember, head on over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk to watch Survival Series Thunderdome Edition. But in the meantime, watch the first ever Tag Team Survival Series where we had to name every Raw Tag Champ in reverse chronological order.